Confession Wednesday, 877-937-1047. Hey, Brooke, what's your convention? What's your confession?
Hi, so my confession is that my fiance does not know that I used to be a call girl and that my best friend was my assistant kind of. So he would he'd drive me and he would make sure I was safe. And while I was in one appointment, he would be on the phone, kind of conversing, pretending to be like me, setting up other appointments.
Oh, how long did you do this?
This was for maybe it was a year or so that my best friend was working with me. I was doing it for maybe 60 years. Yeah, and me and my boyfriend I'm sorry, what was that?
No, go ahead.
So me and my boyfriend at one point when I was telling him about my best friend, he kind of had an issue about it, and I understand, especially with he doesn't know that this was a thing, but I didn't tell him about it. And so we kind of worked through, I'm going to have a guy best friend, and I kind of feel bad.
Yeah, that's a big confession.
Yeah, but if you think about it, if you tell him your truth, he might not want to get married at all, right? So why bring up the past? You don't know about his past?
Also, you don't want to bump into any of your clients, right? Did you guys move, or do you still live in the same city where you had Patreons?
It's in the same city. I don't usually run into the people that I used to see, but if I did, it would be very much we don't know each other. It's kind of an...
Yeah, because they probably have something to hide, too, I'm assuming.
Did you ever have any famous people that were clients?
No, not here in Tucson.
Tucson? How do people find you? Was it a website?
Yeah, it used to be a website. It's not there anymore.
Oh, bummer. All right, hold on, Brooke. Hold on. It's a great confession. Hold on. Aubrey, good morning. Confession Wednesday. What's your story? Aubrey.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Bree. So my confession, I confessed it a couple years back to my husband, but once upon a time when we had only been dating for 8 months, I was working the reception at a hotel, and he was a server at a restaurant in our local town. And we had a guest come through, and she was asking me for recommendations on where to eat that night. And I was like, oh, my husband's a server at a local restaurant. You should try it. And she was like, oh, he's a server at the restaurant? Let's mess with him. And so then she proceeds to ask me for a bunch of just details about his life that only someone that was really close to him would know. And so I shared a bunch of those with her, and she was like, okay. So she goes to the restaurant, and then later I get a text from my husband saying, you're never going to guess what happened to me tonight. This was the craziest experience, yada, yada, yada. And then later, I didn't see her again, but later he gets off work, and then he proceeds to tell me about how he met this medium at work, and he just had this really crazy experience, and basically she told him that the person that he was dating was the person that he was meant to marry, and all sorts of things like that, and I didn't tell him it was a joke for 5 years.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
After you got married then? After you got married?
Yeah, we're married now and we have a kid. So hopefully he didn't marry me just because the medium told him to.
Right.
But yeah, I let him tell the story, and I would just sit back and listen. And he would look at me when he's telling the story, and he'd be like, "It's so crazy, right?" And I'm like, "So crazy, so crazy."
So what is it?
And then finally one day, we were just he told the story to someone, and then we left wherever we were at, and we got in the car, and I was like, "You want to know the funniest thing that I've ever done?" And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "That was a complete joke. The medium, I was like, she was a guest at the hotel, and I met her before she went there."
But did he think she was a medium when she was telling him all this stuff?
He thought it was a real encounter. Yeah.
Wow.
Then she just got the vibe that you need to marry our Aubrey, and you need to make that happen.
He's
I aspire to be this woman. I was like, oh my gosh, to have just that thought of oh my gosh, let's mess with this person. And then to convince them that she was a medium, I thought it was hilarious.
That is epic, actually. But I feel like I missed the part at the beginning of the story when she was asking for directions or where to go eat. there, did you guys conspire to mess with him, or she just did it on her own?
Yeah, so she had said oh, your husband works there. Let's mess with him. Give me some intimate details about his life. And so I was like, oh, he got in a car wreck in 2016.
Oh, I like that.
That had to blow his mind.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's crazy. I love that.
Yeah. It was hilarious.
Okay.
Seriously. And like I said, he told so many people this story. And I was like, do I tell him? And I just let it go on forever until finally one day I spilled the beans. And he didn't even have anything to say. He just looked at me. I'm like, just looked at me in shock. And he was like, are you kidding me? He's like, you let me tell people this story?
That's so great.
I was like, of course I let you tell people this story. That's why it was so funny.
I mean, your prank made him propose to you.
So funny.
Yeah, that's what I said. I hope that's not the only reason he married me, but here we are now. So.
Where do you guys live, Aubrey?
We live in Idaho.
That's such a great... Did it happen in Idaho?
It did happen in Idaho. Yep.
Man, they're so easy to fool in Idaho.
So trusting.
No.
You know what? I agree.
No. All right, hold on. That is a fantastic story. Hold on the line. Hold on. Man. This is good. April, hi. Thanks for holding. You're on the air. What's your confession?
So when I was younger, I was dating a Phoenix police officer, and we were supposed to go out that night, one night, and I didn't believe him when he said he had to cancel because he had his kids. And so I had one of my friends drive me over to his house, and there was another girl's car in the driveway, and his new truck and new boat were parked out front. So I keyed the entire truck and boat.
Okay. All right, hold on. Rosanna, good morning. What's your confession?
Hi there.
Hi.
Yeah, it was about my ex-husband. I've been with him for about 31 years. And on one of them, he cheated. And I convinced his lover to make him believe that she was pregnant so we can get some money out of him.
Dang.
Wow.
How much money
Yeah.
did you get?
5,000.
Oh my gosh.
All right, hold on.
That was probably right at
Gerald.
the price where he's like, okay.
Gerald, you're on the air. Hi. What's your confession?
Hey, all right. So this is probably about 20 years ago. I was at my brother's house. We were partying, visiting and all that, and drinking. And my brother's no longer. His wife was killed. So, and then he killed himself. But
Oh my gosh.
we were out at his house, and we were in, where was it? Grants Pass, Oregon. Just, taking back. My wife was there. This was my first wife. And we were just drinking, and they all went to bed. Me and my brother, he went to do something, and then me and his wife, was sitting there drinking and stuff, and we end up, doing the hanky-panky,
Right.
and I felt bad, but I never told my brother. And like I said, my brother, about probably 15 years ago, my brother killed himself because his wife was killed when she was coming home. She was hit by she basically ran into a deer. The deer went through the windshield and it was impaled. So basically, I never got the chance to tell him that I messed up and had made love to his wife, before my brother was killed.
Dang, dude.
Before he killed himself.
That's a lot to live with, bro.
Yeah, that's-
All right, hold on. Wait, there's more? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
How is there more?
okay.
But then, because 3 months later, my nephew, which is his oldest son, couldn't live without his mom and dad, and then committed suicide too.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Gerald,
All right.
That's so sad.
Man. All right.
Yeah, well,
I
Is
think I
there
need to
more?
go somewhere and pray for you.
All right, hold on, Gerald. Hold on. That's heavy.
Yeah,
Michael,
that's a lot.
Michael, what's your confession? Go ahead.
Well, it's been a while now, but my ex-wife and my neighbor and I slept with my neighbor in my marital bed while my wife was at the hospital.
Did you tell us that already? Did we talk to you
We
already?
did.
Yeah.
You been on
You
hold the
did
whole
tell me.
time?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Sorry,
Bro.
man. Sorry,
The
bro.
whole time.
Sorry about that. Yeah, he's been on hold 12 minutes. Look at that. Sorry, Michael. Christy, what's your confession?
So when I was 15, I had a girlfriend sleeping over at my house, and she was 16. We snuck out of my window in the middle of the night, stole my mom's car, pushed it out of the driveway down the road a little bit, so we started it so she wouldn't hear it start, and we went joyriding downtown for a little bit, and then we ended up getting a flat tire, so we had to have somebody put the spare tire on the car. We drove it back to where I lived. My friend's boyfriend lived in the neighborhood that I lived in, so we got him up in the middle of the night, had him put the flat tire back on my car.
Smart.
And then we pushed the car with the flat tire back into the driveway. We snuck back in my window, went to bed, and my mom woke up the next morning and she had no idea. She's like, "Hey, honey, I gotta go to the store and get a new tire. I've got a flat." I was like, "Okay, bye."